Every police officer takes an oath to safeguard and service society, but some violate this sacred oath. What is the truth about these corrupt cops, and how did lawyers own these corrupt cops? Does everyone who wears an honor badge also have a betrayal badge on? Not all of them, but some definitely do. Join us as we discuss the dramatic transformation of corrupt cops from heroes to villains. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to get updates on more epic showdowns. Let us start with the case of Eric Fritz, a former police officer. Eric Fritz pulled over a car, arrested its driver, and assaulted the passenger, Melissa McMillanen, in 2016. Take note of Melissa McMillanen's brave stance during her confrontation with Officer Fritz. She said that Fritz had changed her life forever by taking advantage of her drunken state to have sex with her. If found guilty, Fritz could spend up to 15 years. Officer Fritz took advantage of the situation out of self-interest, even though he knew well that she was quite drunk. She regretted the decision she had made that put her in danger. When the judge called for a statement from Officer Fritz, he downplayed the gravity of his actions and just apologized for the hotel incident. Was he truly sorry about what he'd done? It's doubtful. He didn't realize the whole gravity of the occurrence, trivializing it all to focus just on the offer to take her to a hotel room. But the judge was stern, reminding Fritz of his legal and moral obligations. She criticized him for being a wolf in sheep's clothing and taking advantage of her vulnerability. What is even more disturbing is the way he turned his badge into a weapon, using it as a tool for his criminal activity, ultimately stabbing the public's trust in the back. The judge's stern remarks made it clear that his actions betrayed everyone. Upon facing charges, he decided to resign. Subsequently, he entered a plea of not guilty to a lesser charge of unlawful confinement, leading to the dismissal of the more serious charges. Fritz was sentenced to 1 year in prison and 5 years of community service. In the case of Melissa McMillan, justice was done, and on January 30th, 2020, a federal court settlement was made, giving her more than $100,000. No amount of compensation can ever fully settle the trauma she had to endure. Who's up next in our lineup of suspects, and what shocking crime is he charged with? What jaw-dropping verdict was made against him? The jury reached the verdict that Aaron Dean, a former police officer, was convicted of manslaughter. This verdict was made in reaction to Tatiana Jefferson's horrific shooting while she and her 8-year-old nephew were playing video games. Little did she know that fateful game turned out to be her last play. The jury sentenced Aaron Dean to 11 years, 10 months, and 12 days in prison. After delivering a clear verdict, the judge turned to face Aaron and told him that he would be transferred to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve his sentence. The judge also mentioned that he would get credit for the time he had already spent in jail. The court also told him of his right to appeal the jury's decision at the time of sentencing. Notably, the jury rejected a murder charge that could have resulted in a life sentence. Dean's defense attorney pleaded self-defense throughout the trial, saying he shot Jefferson after spotting what seemed to be a weapon through the glass. Dean stated that when he noticed an armed person inside Jefferson's house, he initially believed he was responding to a burglary scene. Now let's turn our focus to the next case on our list. Rapper YNW Melly was on trial in South Florida for the alleged murders of 2 friends 5 years ago. But the trial ended in a mistrial due to a divided jury. Since a majority decision is required, prosecutors may seek a new jury in a retrial. During the trial, Detective Moretti was accused of threatening to jail and deport YNW Melly's manager, Jamison Francois. The tension in the courtroom intensified when the defense lawyer questioned Moretti. The lawyer asked questions of deportation, family separation, and denial of basic necessities. Moretti's responses were often vague. During cross-examination, the defense attorney questioned Detective Moretti about threats made against Jamison Francois. Despite the fact that Francois has been in the country since childhood, Moretti admitted to threatening to deport him. The detective gave a vague response when asked about food and medication issues. The defense attorney put up a fierce fight. Is it possible to find the truth by intimidating a witness who provides negative information? Miramar Police spokesperson Tanya Ruiz revealed that they received a complaint regarding Detective Moretti from Melly's mother's attorney. Currently, the detective is not under investigation. Do you believe that justice served in these lawyers versus corrupt cops cases? Comment below.